Hello and welcome to the Lyon Show. I'm your host, your favorite business coach, Robert Lyon. And today we have the great pleasure of talking to Brooke Adams. She is a mindset and manifestation coach, an awesome person. And I'm just super excited to have her on the show today. So Brooke, why don't you kind of introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit who you are and what you're up to?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, just like Robert said, thank you so much, first and foremost, for having me on your show. I appreciate it more than ever. And I'm happy to be here. Grateful to be able to just come on here, share what I know, and give value to other people. So just like he said, I'm a mindset and manifestation coach. I usually specialize in helping entrepreneurs develop their online business and increase their productivity, mainly by developing a winning mindset and creating a winning self-image as well. And I absolutely love it. I've been working with the legendary Bob Proctor for almost 2 years now. I love him. He's my mentor. He's taught me everything that I know. And the great thing is now I get to pass it along to other people. And I just saw how valuable this information could be, not only to somebody that has their own business, but just to somebody that wants to be even like happier, and feel healthier and feel better about themselves. And so that's what got me into it. And I absolutely love it.
Yeah, that's so awesome. So one of my favorite questions, I guess, to ask coaches is, when did you know that you were ready to be a coach, or what was your coaching like to get started story kind of?
Yeah, absolutely. So I come from a background of several different things. I did network marketing for a period of time. I've also waited tables. So, very customer service oriented, but I always had that feeling like deep down inside, right? Like I always knew I wanted to do something more, but I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to help people, and I just had this burning desire to have something more, to achieve more. I didn't want to go to school and get a job and work for somebody else for 40 hours a week. That just wasn't me. That just wasn't in my body, right? And so I joined a network marketing company and I failed miserably. What do you know? I thought I was going to knock it out of the park, right? Most people do that, and I didn't, right? I had very low self-esteem. I wasn't confident in myself. I didn't know how to sell anything. I knew everything about the company, but I wasn't getting the results, right? And I just didn't understand why. Why was I not seeing results when everybody else around me was getting these amazing results? And I wanted that for myself. And one day, they were having a convention for this network marketing company that I was in. And the speaker was Bob Proctor that day. And I knew that I needed to be in that room. And so I was there and he was up on stage talking, and I didn't know what the heck he was talking about. But all I knew was that he had what I wanted, right? Friends from all over the world. He was making millions of dollars. He was impacting millions of people as well. And that's everything that I wanted to do. And here I was still not getting the results that I wanted to, even though I'd been with the company for 4 years. And so I started to study his programs, right? I bought into the Science of Getting Rich, was my first program, and loved it. And then I bought into a second program. And as I'm going through that program one day, I'm just have my laptop out. My boyfriend's chilling on the couch. And I look over at him and I start talking to him. I'm like, hey, and I start going off about this video, right? And how awesome it is. And I love the material and all this stuff. And he's just kind of like looking at me and he has this huge smile on his face. And I'm like, why are you staring at me? And he's like, well, you're just so passionate about this material. And that's the moment that I knew that I needed to share this with other people. That's the moment that really was like, oh man, like if this is making such an impact on me, and I know I'm in the beginning stages of my journey, like just imagine how that could help somebody else. And so that's really what made me get started.
Love it. That's so awesome. So I know you're a mindset and manifestation coach. So I just kind of want to talk a little bit about the manifestation. So how do you see it? How do you think that it works? What's your theories and how do you see it going?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's all about feelings. I think it's all about the vibration that you're in. I see you already shaking your head. Yes, like you've heard this before, right? So many people talk about it, right? They're like, oh, well, the law of vibration, right? The law of vibration is real. And if we know that it's real, right? And we understand how the laws of the universe works, and that means that whatever we put out, right? Whatever vibration we're in, we're going to receive back to us, right? And so what we're conditioned to do, unfortunately, is we're conditioned to bring negativity into our life. And this is just due to the way that most of us are raised. We're raised in that environment of, okay, like you do go to school, you get a good job with benefits, right? And then hopefully you'll get to retire. But along the way, who knows what we're being taught and what kind of beliefs are being, planted in our mind, even by people that we love that don't understand that by doing that, we're going to attract more of it into our life. I mean, I always ask people, okay, first off, how much money are you making a year? Because that gives me a good idea of where you're at in your mindset wise. And then I love to ask them about their beliefs, because their beliefs will tell me everything. If you believe that money doesn't grow on trees, that money's hard to come by, that, money, you got to work hard for money, right? These are things that are so commonly said in our society that people believe them. People really believe that that's true. And the fact that they believe that that's true makes it true in their reality.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah, I totally agree. So do you think we have to like hold the vibration of like goodness and rich, and then it will come to us? Like, how do we, what are like your steps, or do you have any ideas on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think the number one thing to do is show gratitude for what you already have.
Okay.
Gratitude is going to be the quickest way to get in alignment with the universe or source or whatever you want to call it, right? The higher power out there that brings us everything that we want, that has all this good, right? That we keep
Mhm.
wanting. I think everybody wants good. I think everybody desires to have something more in their life. And that's just nature. That's us. That's who we are. We're meant for that. We're meant to have more. We're meant to be more. We're meant to do more, right?
Mhm.
And so, yeah, you have to, one, be grateful for what you already have. You can't get more to be grateful for if you're ungrateful for what you have already.
Yeah, totally. So I've been
And
asking
then
everybody, what does gratitude really mean to you? So, and I'd get
I
lots of
think
cool
it's a,
answers.
yeah, I think it's a feeling,
Hmm.
right? It's that feeling that's like, oh my gosh, thank you, right?
Yeah.
It goes beyond just saying the words of thank you, or, uh, you know, m- a lot of the times you'll hear this at a restaurant, right? Like somebody goes in, you're waiting, they're waiting on you and they're like, thank you for coming in, right? But they're just saying that, right, as part of their little spiel.
Yeah.
You're laughing because it's true, because they
Mhm.
say this to you every single time you go out to eat, right? But I'm talking about when you really show appreciation for somebody and for the things that you have in your life. It's a feeling. You can feel that deep down in your heart, right? When you appreciate, when you really truly appreciate somebody or something that they did for you, it comes from the inside. It doesn't come from your words or what you're saying necessarily. It comes from how you show it to other people and really just showing that appreciation.
Yeah. I kind of feel like it's just like the hoorah of like life, man. Like it's a beautiful thing. Like
Yeah.
gratitude, just appreciating is how amazing it is. I mean, you got
Yes.
like birds and dogs. Like life is awesome if you really
Right.
appreciate it. And we can't
Exactly.
talk enough about it or hear enough about it. And I totally agree with that. So we have to feel the vibration, right? And then we have to like imagine or see things coming to us. Do you think that we have to think about already having them, or do you have to think about them coming to you? What is your take on that?
Yeah, I definitely feel like you have to act as if they're already yours.
Okay.
You have to see yourself in possession of it already, right? And it can come to you very quickly, right? Like your manifestations can happen to you very, very quickly once you're in alignment,
Mhm.
but you've got to get in alignment. You've got to get into, and that comes back to how are you feeling, right? Like what's the feeling? Are you feeling bad or are you feeling good, right?
Yeah.
And so to bring those into your life, though, you really have to see yourself already in possession of what you want. See yourself already enjoying the travels, right? Like if I were to ask you, okay, hey, Robert, where do you want to go? Right? You'd be able to
Yeah.
tell me, right? And then I'd be like, paint the picture for me. Are you going to be on a beach? Are you going to be in the mountains? Is your family going to be there? Right?
Mhm.
And it's just like you just use that imagination right here in this present moment, and you actually bring whatever you want to you in that moment because you're connecting with it on an emotional level, right? Now, if you're not emotionally involved in it, say it's something that you just would never want to do, right? Like something that you're just not interested in, right? Like if I tell you, let's go skydiving, and I tell you, oh my gosh, it's going to be so much fun. We're going to get to go up in the air and it's going to be this beautiful scenery. And then we're going to jump out and we're going to have a ton of fun, but you're just scared of heights and you just absolutely don't want to do that. You're never going to manifest that into your life, right?
Yeah. I love the alignment. I think when you said that, it just totally made me think, you're right. If you have the end goal in mind and then you're in alignment with yourself and then you're taking like power steps, there's really nothing that can stop you. So I
Absolutely.
think we just broke through the formula right there. I hope everybody listening was like taking notes or something.
For real. Got to have that pen and paper out.
Yeah. Well, that's so good. So let's talk about mindset. So I bet a lot of your coaching clients probably you have to get their mindset right. How do you help them get their mindset on the right track?
Yeah, I think the first step is becoming aware of where you're at right now. A lot of people are like, "Oh, well, I know where I want to go, right? So I'm just going to start to change the behavior, right? I'm going to okay, you want to lose weight, right? So you're like, "Okay, I'm going to exercise 3 times a week," right?
Uh-huh.
And you're trying to change your behavior before you've changed what you feel on the inside. Maybe you don't see yourself as somebody that works out 3 times a week, right? Because for the past 6 months or year or 2 years or 3 years, however long, you've been telling yourself that you don't do that, right? That you don't eat healthy, that you don't necessarily work out, that it's cool that you watch TV and drink soda and maybe drink a lot of beer or whatever it is too, right? So you're trying to change the behavior without changing your mind, right? Your mindset first. So, and it just doesn't work like that. You just can't do that. You have to change what you're feeling on the inside first, right? That mindset of, okay, I am this healthy person. I live in an amazing body. I love myself as I am right now. And then all of a sudden your behavior changes because once again, like you said, it's in alignment, right? So you got to figure out where you're at first, right? Where's your mindset at first? And then you got to figure out, okay, where do I want to go? Right?
Perfect.
That's how you do it.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking now of all the mindset things and all the people that need help with a little bit of mindset work,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So how do you think people can change their self-image? Because I think like the biggest problems that come up in like the world are just like people carrying around this baggage from the past and they don't see themselves as being a successful person. How do you help people change their mindset, their self-image, that sort of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think self-image is huge, right? Just like I was saying, self-image is so big and you have 2 of them, right? You have the one that you carry on the inside, which says, okay, I don't see myself as successful. Maybe I don't feel worthy enough. Maybe I need more love, right? Yeah. All of these things. But then to the outside world, you're projecting that, you're exuding that confidence and that love and all that stuff, that the person that you want to be, but you don't quite feel that on the inside. So what you need to do is you need to get them to match. Okay, so who do you actually want to be? First, determine those qualities of, okay, this is who I want to be, right? And then you kind of write your own little script around it. You say, okay, I am this person, right? You write it in present tense as if it's already happening, right? Like right now, you just say, okay, I am confident. I'm successful. I'm a millionaire. I'm a multimillionaire. I own a lot of businesses. I love what I do. I love my life. I get to travel. I have lots of friends, right? And you're writing this in present tense as if you're already that person. And the only way to really change your beliefs is to hear it constantly, right? It's the same way that you were taught your name, right? Yeah. Your name, you were taught your name by hearing it over and over and over again, right? Yeah. It's like the same process. You almost have to repeat that to yourself so much that you actually start to believe that it's true. And then all of a sudden your behavior changes because you believe it's true. And then you're like, oh, wow, how did that happen? Yeah. And it happens like so fast, right?
Yeah. Almost like reprogramming your mind. I love that.
That's exactly what you're doing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
So what does your coaching practice kind of look like? Like, do you have a specific type of person you work with, or do you work, like who's your go-to client, or who do you see most?
Yeah. So my go-to clients right now, I'm actually shifting gears. I went for network marketers last year and now I'm switching gears. I'm going to start helping fitness professionals. So I want to do yoga instructors, personal trainers, all of those people, because I think with fitness and health, mindset is huge, right? So it makes a big difference to have a proper mindset.
You're going to help the fitness industry, and that's kind of how you're heading.
Yeah, absolutely. I love fitness myself. So I've been with an amazing workout company that has just really fueled my love for fitness. And I just really got to thinking about how much mindset goes into performance, right? And even to like competitive, like athletes and things like that, how much they really use visualization, right? Mm-hmm. They use visualization, which is just the process of creating an image on your mind, right? Like in your mind. Mm-hmm. That way you could see it in your outside world, right? So it's like there's this book called Psycho-Cybernetics. And so if you haven't read it, it's amazing. It's by Maxwell Maltz. I love it. Okay, I was going to say it's an amazing book. And in this book, he talks about this, right? He talks about how the golfers use this all the time, right? They use it to create this winning image. And what they do is before they step up to the tee, right, they're actually visualizing in their mind what kind of swing they're going to have, where's the ball going to go, where's it going to land, right? And they're seeing that so that they can recreate it in their physical world. And it's the same thing with like fitness trainers and professionals teaching their clients how to do this as well. Like their clients got to see themselves as somebody that can lift heavy weights, or that can run a lot, or that can, do 60 minutes of exercise without getting winded, right? They have to start kind of helping them develop that mindset of, I'm a healthy individual. I love working out. I love treating my body with respect. I love eating healthy, right? All of those things. And so I think a fitness trainer's role has a lot to do with the mindset, not just giving them a plan, right? That they can stick to, because plans are great. But if we don't believe we're going to stick to them, we're probably never going to stick to them, right?
Yeah. We really have to like make the decision inside of ourselves. I think that's the hardest thing, is like you can tell people everything, you know, but they actually have to make the commitment, make the decision to do it and go forward with it.
Absolutely.
So what really excites you about your coaching and this job that you're creating, basically?
I think just seeing other people win. I mean, when you give somebody a gift of just knowing that inside of themselves already that they have the greatest gift ever, which is their ability to create their reality with their minds, and that they have this amazing body and this amazing life, and actually seeing them get the results that they want, that maybe they've been struggling to get for the past 10 years or 5 years, or even just, 6 months, whatever, they're a brand new entrepreneur, and to see them go from struggling to winning just by implementing a few mindset, things.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see, that transformation of, okay, like I'm this whole new person, and it's awesome.
So what are a couple exercises that maybe people listening could try and do if they want to get their mindset right and get their, life aligned or whatever?
Yeah, absolutely. The first one is, I always recommend affirmations. It's going to be something that's super, super easy to do. And I'll be honest, you might feel a little silly when you start doing affirmations, because you're standing in front of the mirror and you're talking to yourself. And who does that? Oh my gosh, that's crazy, right? Like people might call you crazy, and that's okay, right? Because what you're doing is you're really reprogramming your mind, kind of like what I was talking about earlier when I was saying you got to hear it over and over and over again. Well, an affirmation is just a self-talk, right? It's a suggestion to yourself. You're saying, okay, I want to be this person, or I am this person. You really want to make them present tense. So you can stand in the mirror and you can affirm whatever you want, right? Like, my life is amazing, or I am awesome, or I love myself, or whatever you want, right? Like whatever you want to be. The great thing is you can be that. And so I would recommend definitely starting with some affirmations and trying to do them in the morning as well as night, because a lot of people do these affirmations in the morning for about 10 minutes, and then they go throughout their day and they're thinking the opposite thoughts of what they want, right? Because they're conditioned to do that. So you really want to break up your day. You could even do morning, noon, and night, right? Just to keep yourself in that right vibration. And that's going to be super helpful. And then the second thing that I do every single day is I show my gratitude. So I have a gratitude journal. It's super easy, right? And it says, I'm so happy and grateful at the top. And then I write down 10 things I'm grateful for. So I do 5 things that I already have in my life. So whatever I'm already thankful for that I currently have in my circumstances. And I say 5 things that I'm grateful for that I want to have in my life. And the reason why I do this is because you can actually create that picture as if you already have them, right? When you start to really picture that in your mind. So you can show gratitude for these things, right? It's the only way to get it to come to you. So gratitude, that's definitely a key.
Yeah. So affirmations and gratitude. And then I like the idea of writing down things. I think people should definitely I used to do this thing called, I think it was like morning pages or something like that. And I always have massive breakthroughs where you write one page out every morning, and it really just helps you get in alignment with yourself. But it's like getting the words out into the world, not only with affirmations, with writing, with speaking it. These are all great ways to really see yourself change and see your self-image. Do you have any insight on helping people kind of let go of their past so they can kind of move forward with their lives?
Oh, yes, I know all about this. Because often this goes along with self-image as well, because oftentimes what do? We have that little inner child within us and I say that it's the inner child because this is your beliefs from maybe when you were a child that you got brought up in, right? And if you really take a good look at what those beliefs are, and you can know what your beliefs are because you can just look at your results. Your results will tell you what you believe. And so, those beliefs often stem from childhood. And sometimes we didn't have a great childhood, or maybe we didn't grow up in the best circumstances or whatever, right? And we're still believing those things today. And so you really got to let go. And the main thing is forgive. Not just forgiveness is to let go of completely. And so you've got to forgive those people that maybe have hurt you in the past, or maybe didn't give you everything that you wanted, right? Because really the only person that you're hurting by holding on to anger and resentment and all that stuff and guilt. And this could be needing to forgive yourself, right? if you're holding on to any of those things, you have absolutely no room to bring in joy or abundance or prosperity, because what's consuming you right now are those feelings, right? Of guilt, resentment, anger, right? And so you've got to let go of those completely. And just like you said, I love what you said about writing things down. That is the number one thing that you can do. You literally can say, dear whoever, I don't care who it is that hurt you in the past. And it could be a very traumatizing experience for you. Just write them a letter and let them know, hey, like, these are the things that hurt me in the past. This is why I'm upset. And then you also need to let them know that what you're grateful for. Did they make you the person that you are today? Find some good in that situation, and then just literally write it down. Say, okay, I forgive completely, right? I'm letting go of all my anger, resentment. I'm in charge of me. I'm in charge of my feelings, right? And then you get to invite all the rest of those good feelings in, of joy and abundance. But you've got to let go of those other things first before you can have what you really want.
Yeah, just hearing the word forgiveness, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
just give yourself a little break.
Absolutely. It feels so much better too when you do it.
Yeah, for sure. Have you had any like major epiphanies lately working with Bob Proctor that you like to talk about that you can think of?
Ooh, major epiphanies. Yeah, I had one very, very recently. I've been going through a little bit of a rough patch myself, and it's something that I don't typically talk about, but I was going through a little bit of a rough patch. I learned that my boyfriend has cancer. He's only 32 years old. It was hard to take, right? And then on top of that, I got COVID. So it was like back to back things, right? And I was really feeling the frustration and the anger and the sadness and all of these emotions, right? And so I had to, and I was no longer focused on my goals. My goals were they were gone, right? Because I was just so consumed with letting my emotions run me over. And this happens to everybody, right? Like, this happens to absolutely everybody. And the one thing is, I don't beat myself up about it. I realize that it happens, but I'm not angry at myself for it happening. But what I did need to realize was that I needed to really get back in alignment with what I truly wanted. I need to reevaluate my goals, because I had let something that had happened in my outside circumstances completely control me. And that's when I realized that my goals weren't big enough. My why wasn't big enough. I wasn't in alignment with really what I wanted to do, right? Because I stopped working. I stopped doing the things that I needed to do every single day. And that's when I knew I needed to reevaluate. And I reevaluated by thinking of, okay, what do I really want, right? Number one, what is it that I really, really want? Not what my mom wants, not what my sister wants me to do, not what my boyfriend wants me to do, not what I think that I should be doing, like other people think I should be doing, right? But what does Brooke want? Like, what does she truly want? And when I asked myself that question, I came up with a completely different answer than what I had been doing before. Yeah. And so by shifting my focus onto what I really wanted and feeling good about it, right? Because I was in alignment with it. I felt good. It changed completely. My behavior changed almost instantly. It changed overnight. I started getting up early again. I started doing the things that I needed to do. I started working out again. I started working on my business. I started creating new connections, all those things, right? Because I was in alignment. I wasn't in alignment before. Yeah. Clearly, right? I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do.
Yeah, I think it's Les Brown, and he says life will catch you on the blind side, even if you're sometimes doing everything right. And if we don't have struggles, we kind of get lackadaisical. But I'm sorry to hear that. Those are some rough stuff, especially when you get sick. Everything, the world just seems like such a pain in the ass.
Right. Yeah. You're like, what do I do now?
Yeah, exactly. Take care of yourself, and if you get off the path, you just get back on it and get back to the winning formula. I think that's the key. Is a lot of people just get sidetracked and then never get back to what they were doing when they first started having all the major breakthroughs and things like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. They get sidetracked, just like you said. They something happens to them in their life, and it doesn't matter what that circumstance is, but it throws them off their game, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But just like you said, it's a matter of, okay, cool. Like, I got thrown off my game. Am I going to get back on? Or am I just going to let that happen?
Totally. So what kind of fitness people are you looking to talk to? Is it like anybody in the fitness, health coaches, like yoga people? What's your preferred?
Yeah, definitely personal trainers. I think that I love personal trainers. I think I think it's also a huge part with the mindset as well. And then yoga teachers are another kind of person that I really love, just because they're really into spirituality and they know a little bit about mindfulness and being within yourself. And that's kind of what yoga is all about. And a lot of people don't realize that that is what yoga is
Mm-hmm.
based on, right? Is that being mindful and, having that moment of peace with yourself, and also healing your body in the process by stretching and doing these moves, right? That really help you get connected. And so I think yoga instructors are definitely my type of person as well.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much like health and wellness coaches. They know a little bit more about what I do as well. They kind of, I feel like, take it a step further with their coaching businesses. They do a little bit more, whereas I feel like yoga instructors and personal trainers can really incorporate the mindset aspect into their routines with their clients. And that could be very, very beneficial, not only to them, but to their clients as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. Why don't you tell everybody like the best places to find you online and how to get in contact?
Absolutely. The best place to find me is on Facebook. So you'll see my name, Brooke Adams, right there. I do have a Facebook group. So it's called Success University. And I'd love to have anybody in there that wants to really just develop a winning mindset, that wants to make some really meaningful connections with other entrepreneurs and ultimately add value to others. So if that sounds like somebody out there that's listening to this, please feel free to join me and I'll welcome you into my group.
Awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit about that. What Success University? What's that look like?
Yeah, it's really just a community of online entrepreneurs right now that feel the importance of mindset, right? They know how important it is to develop that winning mindset to achieve the results that they want to achieve. And they're very into personal development as well as making those meaningful connections. I think a lot of times online, we tend to leave that relationship part out of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're like, how many messages can I send a day? And then you get those copy and paste messages and you're like, okay, I don't even want to respond to this, right?
Yeah, for sure.
They're like, is this my 100th of the day?
Yeah.
And so my group's a little bit different. It's really about making those meaningful connections, like not just, okay, yes, I know I run a business. Yes, I know clientele is important to get. Yes, I want to talk to people, but really getting to know that person on a level of, okay, who are you? Where are you from? What do you do? How can I help you? And, in return, they can add value to others as well. They're all people that have their own business or are looking to start their own business right now. So they can add a lot of value as well to other entrepreneurs. And so that's definitely who I look for to join the group.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. You're a rock star, and I think everybody listening definitely got a lot of value. So I think it's been a great time. Thanks for listening, everybody. Take care.
Thanks, Robert.
Bye.